Hey there guys, doing another quick little video on I guess security, and so I bought this over a year ago, and it's a Chamberlain. It's a driveway alert system, or a wireless monitoring alert sensor is this unit, and then the whole system is sold as a driveway alert, which at my old residence I did use as a driveway alert system because I had a home that was off the main street, so it gave me the heads up that someone was coming down, whether they were walking or driving down my driveway. You do get some false alarms, with the wind blowing. It was, occasionally strong winds would pick up tree branches or whatever, or bushes or something like that, or wildlife like raccoons or house cats and stuff. But for the most part, it was great because it went off. You'd be, the way my old residence was set up, you'd be kind of in the back portion of the house. You may not even hear, someone could come pulling up even in a big truck into your driveway, and you wouldn't even know they were there until you heard them ding dong in the doorbell or knocking on the door. Just good awareness, let you know that, hey, there's somebody outside. Anyhow, so moving on to the Chamberlain. I'm not going to go too depth into the details about the system, just a quick overview, and then discuss why I think it's just a good item to add to even a urban home. And I fitted it, or adjusted it to be used here in my home, which is a little more urban than my last home, which is a little more suburban-ish. Like I said, but I did have at least a 100-foot driveway off of a cul-de-sac. So, and in this case, I live, in a neighborhood too, but I don't have a driveway. There's, I have a driveway, but it's just basically parking spots for my cars. So, not going into too much detail about that, but the walkway from the driveway to my front door allows me, because it's an L shape, to set this up to where a person, because there's shrubs, has to pass by this to get to my front door. Granted, there's a few other options if someone wanted to go around, but if they end up at my front door, period, it's going to set off that sensor. What benefit does that to me? It gives me the opportunity to know if there's some creep messing around at my front door in the middle of the night. Maybe he's scoping out the place, seeing if he can jimmy the door, whatever. I'm asleep. It gives me that, even if it's 30 seconds, 15 seconds of allowing me to wake up and realize something's not right before somebody starts trying to kick in my door. Where I live now, there's a lot more break-ins than where I used to live. So it's definitely on my concern, or is a concern for me and my family. Minus all the home alarms and bars and deadlocks and so on and so forth, this gives me the awareness to know that there's somebody at my door before they even realize that I know they're there. So, all right. So that's the main point I wanted to get across. And in this system actually allows you to, I think it allows you to add up to maybe 2 more sensors. Up to 8. Wow. And shop around, because if you go to Chamberlain.com, like, they want $70 for the sensors and $100 for the base unit. I want to say I got the 2 together for around $70 off of Amazon. They're sold on eBay. They're sold Northern Tool's another outlet. In fact, one of the first ones I ever bought was actually for my mom, and I think I paid about $80 on Northern Tool. I'm actually, in my situation here, I'm going to plan add an additional sensor that will cover just the back walkway to the back gate that goes into my back yard. Like I said, one more step gives me somebody, now that gate is locked, they would have to climb over it, so on and so forth, but it allows me to know that there's someone or something, granted, you do get false alarms with cats and other things unless you set them up quite a bit higher. But then a lot of times you get higher, especially in the city, because this sensor, you're going to start picking up all kinds of random stuff. Your neighbors walking in their yard or something. So you have to kind of plan it out and mount it. If you notice this one, it's mounted to a little piece of wood here that allows me to put it on. It's a small steel stake that I put in the ground in the hedge basically inside, and I'll roll in a picture of that where it's located in a hedge basically. So it's discreet. In fact, a lot of times, like the delivery guy, like a UPS or something like that shows up, it beeps and I'm opening the door before he even rings my doorbell, and it always kind of trips him out because he's kind of like, how'd you know I was here? But it's humorous, for at least for me. For him, he's probably thinking I'm weird or something. But it does. The only thing I don't particularly like, I know it's a nice feature for testing purposes, but if I can get it to go off there, if you see that, there's a green LED light that lights up. So that does at nighttime. It does, like say you had somebody skulking around outside your house at nighttime and they might notice it. Now, that might also work as a deterrent. So I may choose to do a part of the series here because I'm working on my surveillance camera system too. I have one a standalone type unit that's got its own little micro SD card in it, and I have some wired ones that I need to rent a ladder or buy an extension ladder because I'm in a 2-story home now, so I can get them mounted up to where they're relatively tamper proof and give me a better angle of view of my parking area, and then of course the front door area. So I'll probably do an additional parts of this series. I don't know when I'll get around to them. But I am considering, instead of using the wire ones, because I am in a rental home, and running wires through there is, can be a pain and lengthy. There's a couple of wireless types out there. I've done quite a bit of research, and there's some mixed reviews on some of them, some great reviews on others, and of course the better the reviews, it seems the more they cost. So I'm going to play with that and possibly go with this one system, and I'll do a video on it if I get them that are wireless and they have their own little DVR system with a monitor, or you can get that as an additional option with a built-in monitor. Basically, it looks kind of like a little tablet, which I think is kind of a nice feature because then you can move it around from room to room with you, and if it's motion detected, it goes off, you can look and see who's at the door. So just something to consider for all this. I'll also roll in a video in here about kind of how to set it up. You have additional options for setting it up for distance, up to 30 feet, which it definitely works in that range at my old home. Like I said, there was driveway about 100 feet long, and then there was yard. So there was very easy for somebody to, if they wanted to, not to walk down the driveway, they could walk through the yard. But it still would pick up. I tested it with myself. It still would pick up that. Oh, in addition here too, because this runs off of 4 AA's, and I'll roll in a video about that part here at the end. This can also take, as I have it set up upstairs, plugged in through the. But if the power is out, you can use the 4 AA batteries back there, and you're good to go. And then then it makes it mobile. You can move it around room to room. Although even on the lowest setting, volume-wise, it's pretty darn loud. I mean, it'll wake me up, and I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, even on the lowest setting. And it's in the common room or family room upstairs, which is near bedrooms and stuff. So I can hear it fine. I can hear it downstairs, even during the day. Appliances running and whatnot. So a great. Fairly inexpensive. There's a couple other ones out there that like the Dakota Alerts that are built for more industrial use, or maybe a little more rugged and reliable use for long range setups, especially people who live in rural areas. But check them out if you're interested. I highly recommend one. Thanks for watching. Alright, as you see here, that's the switches they're talking about here in the instructions. You need to set it right down here for switch 1 and switch 2. If you look real closely, I won't be able to show you here on the camera, but there'll be a 1 and 2 next to the switches. Or if you just orient yourself to the learn button right here, the one on the left's number 1 and 2, so it's 1, 2. So I'm readjusting mine because I had it for long distance because of where I had it positioned in my old home. Here at my new home I'm going to go for the short range, which is 15 feet. And then default is high sensitivity. I'm going to play around with those and see how it works, because I think the sensitivity will probably be alright in high, but we'll mess around with that.